This is it, folks, the final Carboot of 2024, and we'll be talking about what to expect for the rest of 2024 and beyond.
Game Pickers! Food in the Games Room! Rush Tricks! Live Game Hunting! Oh yeah!
Again, folks, welcome back to a very special live game hunting episode here on a Wednesday. That's because, unfortunately, the time has finally come. This is the final Carboot of the 2024 season here at Arminghall. One last chance to go out there and hunt for awesome retro and modern video games in what I believe is one of the best Carboots in the UK. So let's hope this time we can go out with a bang rather than a whimper. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and please subscribe. So I put new videos out every Saturday night at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. And if you want to join me playing games, head over to Twitch and give me a follow. Twitch.tv/DannyGamesman Twitch. Here we go then, folks. One final time for 2024, bright and early on a Sunday morning at the greatest Carboot known to mankind, Arminghall, just on the outskirts of Norwich. And you can tell we are in the end days of the season, as it is super quiet here. Normally this field would be packed all the way down to the bottom, but that ain't going to stop us. We are still on the hunt for video games and general awesomeness. And straight away I found some Xbox One games. These were £2 each. Not the best deal ever, but there's still some money to be made here and a little bit of CEX credit. I can double up this copy of Far Cry Primal, so a decent first grab. Here's an interesting item that my wife picked up for just £10, these Talking Looney Tunes plushies. Now these were in the box and in pretty decent condition, but even loose, these go for some decent money on eBay. And I've said it throughout 2024, do not sleep on plushies, especially licensed ones. Some of these can be worth some decent money. These ones will be staying in the collection, and this was a great find by my wife this Sunday morning. Comment down below if you would have picked this up. I left it behind. Not Sports Champion for the PlayStation 3. Of course, everyone should leave that behind. This Metal Mario figure. Now, I couldn't find any markings on this to see if it was official or to see a date, so I did pass. It was £10. Comment down below if you would have grabbed it. Consoles at Carboots. Now, picking these up is always a bit of a risk, as you have no guarantee whether they will work or not, but you can negate this risk with the games or even the controller. It was £25 for this bundle, but unfortunately none of the games held much value in CX, and one of the thumbsticks was missing on the controller and it didn't have a serial number, so I did decide to pass, which was a real shame, as this could have been a bit of a bargain. And unfortunately, folks, that was it for the final Carboot of the 2024 season at Arminghall. But you know me, I always have a plan B. Arminghall is not the only Carboot on a Sunday in my area. Yes, of course, we do have the other Park and Ride Carboot, which is a short drive from Arminghall, but there is a secondary Park and Ride Carboot on the opposite side of Norwich, so let's head there now. This is the Sprowston Park and Ride Carboot on the opposite side of Norwich, and this attracts a lot of different buyers and of course different sellers, and straight away we were finding some decent video games here, and you can see there was a lot of Amiga discs. Now when it comes to Amiga discs, I'm not great with the value of these. I think they were selling a pile of discs here for £10. I did decide to pass just because honestly I wasn't sure if that was a good deal or not, and all of these games were priced. Now don't get me wrong, the prices weren't bad, but they just weren't as cheap as I was looking to pick them up to flip into CX. If I was picking them up for the collection, these were great prices. There were some good titles here, and honestly, this late in the season, it's good to see decent titles like this here. Like if I was starting an Xbox 360 collection, there was some solid games here like Forza Horizon, Fallout 3, some actually good titles, which is nice to see, because honestly a lot of these better titles for the Xbox 360 you're just not seeing at the Carboot anymore, because as we all know as collectors, Xbox 360 pricing at the moment has honestly just gone absolutely insane. As soon as I saw this incredibly random PlayStation 2 game and peripheral in the box, I knew I had to pick it up, not for myself, but for a very good friend. And of course, when I saw this copy of Diablo 2 PC CD-ROM for just £1, yeah, I'm grabbing that one. It amazes me that even in November, sellers still have stacks of games such as this. The sports titles and the filler titles that are essentially worthless to most people. The games that trade into CEX for a penny. But some people are looking for these random obscure games, especially if they're going for full collections. And honestly, the Carboot is the best place to find these sometimes harder to find games. Speaking of games, here we have some PlayStation 4 games, but each of these were £5, so I did pass. But I should not have slept on this. DJ Hero for the PlayStation 3. Not complete in the box because it was missing the game, but I could have easily picked up the game and traded this in for some decent money. But I just wasn't sure about the condition of that wireless adapter, so I did decide to pass. But let me know, would you have risked picking this one up for £10? Comment down below. Speaking of risk, would you pick up this console-only GameCube for £20? I did decide to pass because honestly I have many GameCubes and the lid just wouldn't stay shut. If nothing else, it was very cool to see a GameCube console at the car boot, especially this late in the day, but for 20 quid, I just couldn't risk it. There we have it then, folks. That was the final car boot of the 2024 season at Arminghall. But this car boot at Sprowston Park and Ride goes all year round. But the question is, will I keep hunting throughout the winter months? Here we are then, back in the games room for not one but two car boots on a Sunday here in Norwich. And here is the good news. Even though that was the final Arminghall car boot of the year for the 2024 season, the Park and Ride car boot does run all year round. But here's the thing with winter car boots. They can be incredibly hit and miss. More often than not, the entire thing will be rained off or just cancelled due to bad weather. Rain or snow, we don't go. It's just absolutely over. And the thing is, if you have a couple of wet days leading up to a car boot, it also might get cancelled. And here's the thing, sometimes it's difficult to drag yourself out of bed on a Sunday morning when it is cold, wet, and go to a car boot like the two car boots we went today, which honestly weren't amazing. And here is the thing, YouTube of course does glamorize car boots. Normally when I do a video, it is the highlights. You see the best. You do not see the stalls of just absolute garbage normally. You know, you have the house clearance stalls like that. I normally just breeze over them because, you know, we all know there are stalls like that. And remember, YouTube is always a highlight reel. This is the best you are seeing, and sometimes you don't see the worst. And unfortunately, today we did kind of see a little bit of the worst side of car boot hunting. But fear not, we do still have a couple of small pickups for the collection. First off, from Arminghall, a couple of Xbox One games. We have Far Cry Primal, which I paid £2 for. I think this one trades into CX for £4, so a double up on this one. And a slight fail on the second of two games I picked up from Arminghall, Rainbow Six Siege, which I paid £2 for. I'm sure this used to trade in for a little bit more. Maybe it's a PlayStation 4 version which trades in for a bit more, but I actually don't think I have a copy of this in my collection. So, not terrible, not great. Two Xbox One games for £4, so Arminghall today unfortunately was a bit of a bust. Sadly, we didn't really fare much better at the Park and Ride car. We only have, once again, two pickups from here. The first of which is Diablo 2 PC CD-ROM, because I love PC CD-ROM games. I'm eventually, in the far future, going to set up a retro PC station. I want it to be full of awesome classic PC CD-ROM games like this one. And the second game I've picked up today is actually a gift for a fellow collector, a fellow YouTuber, and more importantly, a very good friend. This one is for PS2 mini games. If you know, you know. He's going for a complete PlayStation 2 collection, which is absolute insanity. And he's trying to find some of these more random peripherals. And it doesn't get much more random than Get On Da Mic for PlayStation 2. This is boxed and complete with the microphone, and I'll be getting this into PS2 mini games collection very soon. And hopefully, if we are very lucky, he might do a live playthrough of this. And honestly, that alone will be worth the price of admission of the two car boots this time. There we have it then, folks. That was the final car boot of the 2024 season at Arminghall, and unfortunately the final Wednesday video here on the channel for the rest of the year. But fear not, we have some massive things still coming up here on the channel in 2024. Starting this Wednesday, November 29th, we have a very festive live game hunt here in the fine city of Norwich. The following Saturday, December 7th, we have the penultimate episode of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. And with just over a month left to complete this mammoth challenge, it is going to be tight. And trust me, things are only going to get crazier. There is some insane pickups in this next episode of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. And trust me, you do not want to miss it. The following Saturday, December 14th, the eve of my 40th birthday. Yes, I'm soon to be 40, but I am not going to be growing old gracefully. On December 14th, we are setting up a brand new challenge for 2025 to celebrate my 40th birthday, or shall we say my 40th anniversary. So make sure you do not miss that episode on December 14th. It is going to be a massive challenge for 2025. But that is not all, folks. December 21st, save the date, live, and I do mean live, at 5, here on YouTube will be the official Dan the Games Man Christmas party. And you are all invited to play the game. And trust me, we will be playing the game. Save the date, December 21st, 5 p.m. UK time here on YouTube. We are going to be live. And trust me, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You do not want to miss it. Just after Christmas, on December 28th, we are back for the final live game hunt of 2024. And I'm visiting the most requested location here on the channel. The place that everyone has said I need to visit. And I haven't been yet, and I'm so excited to visit this place. It has been a long time coming, and I'm sure it will not disappoint. Then we are back on January 4th for the first video of 2025, and it is of course the finale of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. But that's not all. I will also be unveiling another even bigger challenge for 2025 at the end of that episode, and finding out if I managed to complete the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. So there we have it then, folks. So much coming up for the remainder of 2024. And trust me, 2025 is going to be the biggest year ever here on the channel. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. And as always, keep playing the game. See you soon.